Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Motion RC Live alongside Wesley. I'm James here with RC Coffee Talk, I guess is what the name will be when we don't have bigger things, when it's just going to be a standard show. If you joined us last month, we had Chris Wolf, who, if you don't know, go back and watch the last live show. Chris Wolf is been hired by Motion RC for a couple months now, but he sort of debuted last month, letting everybody know that he's one of our product managers. We had a great interview. You know, he's going to be handling a lot of the planes you see brought to market, that we bring to market going forward. So that was an awesome interview. We were happy to have him there. And then today, as you can see, last week, because we had the last live show, normally we have the graphics on the screen. But, last week, because we're going to have 3 videos down. When you put the bar on the side and the bottom, it kind of really shrinks the screen. Then when you got 3 people having an interview, we abandon it. But I think it's better when you can widen out and see everything. Sometimes, when you're trying to show a product, you're limiting the full scope. So we're going to work on some new graphics that aren't so, so big for the future. But I think it works well this way. How you doing, Wes?
Oh, doing great, James. Having a blast this week. We've had some new releases, had a lot of fun playing with some new products that have just arrived here to me. I don't get to do a lot of ground vehicles, and James sent me a couple last week to start playing with, and it's been kind of fun getting to see some of the Primus vehicles, some of our slot car sets. I've had a lot of fun, and of course the new F86, which was a blast, and I think a lot of guys are going to be really excited when they start getting these and flying them and customizing them. So looking forward to seeing that over on the customer community as well.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I'm seeing some people in the comments: Floyd, Bash, Slow Flyer, Scotty G, John Lieb, Davey, welcome in. Remember, guys, we're definitely going to spin the wheel here today at some point, and the only thing you need to do to be entered for a chance to get a spin on this show is to just leave at least one comment. You could type a number in the comment section. You don't have to say anything important. As long as you put something in there, it lets us know you're here, and that's how the winner is then chosen when we get to that point. But yeah, I think the first thing we want to talk about really was that F86, because that was our latest release. Obviously, it's a 64 millimeter. It's not got the hype that the SR-71 is going to have, but it was a super popular aircraft in its first iteration. It was one of the best-selling 64 models that Freewing ever did, and it was due time to have a new mold and, new everything for it. So this is a completely new aircraft. We call it a V2 just because we had this F86 at some point, but it is completely different than the one that you might know or might have. So Wes, it only went to Wes. You got... Now, the version with the landing gear, there's nothing different other than the landing gear doesn't come with it. You could always buy landing gear for the version without, right? So,
Correct. So both versions are basically the same airplane, other than one comes with landing gear. There is a skid plate up here on the front on both versions when you get it out of the box. If you want to use the landing gear, you pull the skid plate off, and then you glue this mount in that's on it right now. If you want to belly land, it's as simple as taking the Allen screw right here, removing this, and then you can pull the pin out of the servo and leave it in the aircraft for belly landings, even if you have the gear version. Once again, the other nice little improvement over the original version is now these are on like missile rail style. So you can take the drop tanks on and off very easily. If you're going to be belly landing, definitely take the drop tanks off. They do have skids on them, but we find that if you're landing in the grass, they do seem to snag a little bit, so it's better to just go on and land them without it. And there are plastic hard points all around the model for belly landing, so you shouldn't be tearing up the bottom whenever you do that. Another nice quality of life over the original version is their CG marks now embedded onto the aircraft, as you've seen on a lot of our models. Yeah, they got the cheater hole here on the bottom. Once again, the landing gear, they just pop in and out. Let me see if I can get one. So they actually have a button down in there that locks them in. They're locked in right now, and you use a screwdriver to push that little pin and then pull them out, so they aren't going to depart while you're just landing on a bad landing or anything. It does have a provision on the tail now also. There is a pocket already there if you wanted to add a servo for a rudder, and the rudder is made to where you just can cut that one part right here at the bottom to make that a freestanding hinge. So for guys that want to add rudders can now. They added the not magnetic. The original canopy was magnetic. Now it actually has the clasp. So nice little quality of life feature there also. Always hard to do that while I'm juggling it. But yeah, I mean, overall, great updates. The biggest one, of course, visually is the front end now. If you remember the original one, it had a big old hole up here for getting the air in it. It's made much more scale now with this plastic nose that's on the front, and it definitely makes it look a lot better. So a lot of really good quality of life improvements over the original one. Of course, this is a new mold also, so it doesn't really share the parts with the original aircraft. The servos are up on the top of the wing now. I like the scheme that was chosen. Still has the yellow stripes that we kind of have on a lot of other F-86s, but with this scheme, it's really neat. There's actually a movie after the gentleman that flew this airplane. Excuse me, I can't talk, Mr. McConnell. So if you get a chance to check that out, it's kind of fun watching the movie while you're putting your airplane together. But yeah, been really fun to revisit this aircraft and have some fun with it. I know it's more budget-friendly option for some guys that have smaller places to fly off of, don't have the big runways. You can just hand toss this guy and fly pretty much anywhere. Have a great time. Oh, and then reverse thrust too was another feature that was added to this. I always forget to say that part, but if you're landing with the gear, you now have reverse thrust also. But yeah, really cool little airplane.
Yeah, it looked great. I mean, both videos, both flights look fun. It's a fun fighter, you know, not too expensive, you know, backing off the the SR-71, which is obviously in a completely different price range, completely different class of pilot. Everyone should get some 64 millimeters. They're always fun to fly around. I still love the Lippish as my favorite one, but this one's awesome. I hope to get my hands on it. You could have some good fun with these, with a few guys getting them and such. I like the checkerboard on the tail as well. I don't think the original one had that.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
I see more people coming in the comments. Hamilton's hangar, what's going on, man? I saw Kit 10K. We're doing fine, but Hamilton said, Wes, you checked out his Raptor build. So he said his monster is almost ready.
Sweet.
Who else? Michael Reiska, Mountain RC, Luke, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Yeah, we're having a good time. You know, it's a good time to be at Motion here. We've been getting so many new products, and I will tease towards the end of this video, I've got a new product. It's not a plane, it's not a free-wing plane, it's not any of that, so don't hang around if all you care about is RC aircraft, but it is awesome, and it's coming very soon. It'll probably drop here next week. Me and Alex have been out with it, getting some videos, so we'll show a little bit of that, but super fun. I'm excited for this one. We had a blast when me and Alex were out filming this thing, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So, yeah, let's get into, I guess we got some community content because last week we were all about that interview with Chris. We didn't really have time to do too much. So I went through, you know, our Facebook community as we do and found things from the last 2 months, some of the best pictures and customizations. I always like customizations. They're my favorite things to find. I love when people put new schemes on things or, you know, put in cockpits, do stuff like that. But sometimes people also just take beautiful pictures of standard products. So let's get started here. What's the first one we got? We got Wayne Posner. He has the, I'm forgetting off the top of my head what the livery's called of the MiG-29. It's that more sport livery, if you will, the show livery on the MiG-29. But I believe this one we only ever carried with the thrust on it, the thrust vectoring was the only option we got on this one. But absolutely gorgeous model, and he got some absolutely beautiful footage of it. I mean, this picture alone right here, I mean, that is, you know, in there, that looks photoshopped almost. It's absolutely stunning. I love the scheme on that plane. That's one of the ones I've never seen in real life, is that scheme on the MiG-29. But I believe this is the ADAS powered one. Wes, you have a MiG-29, don't you?
Nope.
You don't have it? Have you ever flown it?
Yeah, I had one time, yep. We let it go at the Motion RC fly-in. A customer took that home with him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, because that was my.
It was your original thrust vectoring one.
Yeah, that Patrick Major Crowsdale flew for us in the video, and nobody ever knew that he pancaked it the day before we were supposed to show it on the live show. So I never flipped it over. He spent all night painting the bottom, but he stalled it, and it just landed flat on its belly, and it was fine. Up top looked great, but you know, it was really funny how it went. So that was really good. It was great when you could hide things like that. Tomas Koch, beautiful shot of a Flightline Corsair. Absolutely love that. Looks like he's flying
All
right through
weathered
his
up.
neighborhood. Looks like he's flying through his neighborhood.
Flying over the English countryside.
Just down the street. I see a question. Kit 10K, I'm going to read this paragraph you wrote me. Hey, James, what is the chance of getting Alaska-class battle cruiser added to the Bancroft lineup? There are extremely few of those available. I think you guys can do well with that. Look, I'm not sure the amount of say we have in that department. I'd have to bring, my product manager, Bill. He handles that. Obviously, we have a great relationship with the manufacturer who's, making those for us, the Bancroft lineup. And I know there are new things coming in that lineup. There always are. It's a really popular lineup of RC ships. So, everyone, I think the Cap San Diego, I had never heard of it before, and that's pretty popular. It's doing well. That was the most recent release. But, I'm sure at some point, if they're like a Free Wing or any other, they want to make them all. They wouldn't make them if they didn't like making them. So I'm sure they'd love to have them all. But I can definitely ask him. He might pop into the chat a little later. So, when I see him pop in there, he might have an answer for you, at least in the chat. He's usually here at some point during the show. Peter Bolton Carlson, he did some work to his Gripen that you saw there, customization, but he also did some nice cockpit detail on it. I love that when guys take it to the limit. Looks like he has like real cloth in there on some of the guys, like seatbelt and stuff. So really cool work. It's amazing that people will do that amount of work because you'll never see it in the air. It's just, guys want to make sure when they're looking at it on the table in front of them that it looks good. Then we got Nick Vesio with a custom scheme on his F-22. I really dug this. He had a few pictures. He was posting throughout the, like over time. He was adding updates. I think these were from his last update when it was fully finished. Those shots always look real when you silhouette an RC plane. Something about it looks good. But you could see early on, before he got the decals, I guess, gives you a better look of the scheme and trim he did up top. I love the outline around the verticals and then the wings. I like how it's sort of, the paint ends there and it's sort of, it's like you put a stroke around it, which is cool. And then the mix of colors in the pattern looks great. I mean, I obviously I don't think that's real at all. Probably an Ace Combat scheme if I had to guess, but maybe it is real. He's got the, was that Alaska on the tail? Trying to say maybe it is real, but I doubt it. I feel like they all look the way we sell them, naturally. I don't think I've ever seen a customized F-22. It'll be interesting. You think they'll ever use the F-22 for like Blue Angels when eventually it's not?
Nope.
Nope. When eventually it's not, not a top jet, because they stopped producing, what, 15, 16 years ago?
Yeah, they're just too expensive to maintain for air show teams too.
Gotcha. Actually, totally side note, I watched some wild cartoonish video on YouTube where it's like a whole what if thing, but they do it with like cartoons, and it was like, what if one F-22 went through a time portal and showed up in World War II, and like, how would the Luftwaffe handle it? And then they did one with a B-2, they did one with an SR-71. It's a really cool channel that I just happened to, the algorithm blessed me with that the other night when I needed something to watch, and it was well worth it. Really, really cool stuff. Moving on, we've got Matteo Zenni with another Flightline Corsair, this time with Cali Graphics. He called out Cali Graphics for his customization. And I just love these flying sites. These guys, he's obviously in Europe. Europe has some of the most epic flying locations. The backgrounds with, especially if you're near the mountains and the hills in the back, they always look absolutely stunning. Then another one, Christian Bergeron. I've probably tried to say that before and butchered it as well, but he always usually posts some pictures flying off the ice of a frozen lake, and something about that looks really dangerous. It looks really awesome as well. But he will take it out to the ice and fly it around. His ice Gripen is the way I listed it there, but a lot of Gripens I noticed. It's just funny how that works, right? You'll go through, you feel like you don't see a plane, and then all of a sudden, all you see is planes. RC Lando is asking the chat or asking us? I'll ask this to Wes. What's your pick between a Bearcat and a Corsair?
Corsair.
Gotta be a Corsair.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
I'm a Bearcat guy.
You're a Bearcat guy? What?
I am. I'm a Bearcat guy. I like the way they fly better.
Really? Oh, like the way they fly. Okay,
Yep.
you're on a flying, not the way they look. I just that crooked wing of a Corsair.
The best.
It's just something about it is so
Yeah.
mean looking.
I'm a Bearcat guy. Yeah, no, I love the way they fly. I like the big, fat fuselage, little stubby wings.
Can we put up a
Something
poll?
about a Bearcat. I love them.
Alex is doing a poll. We're gonna ask the chat. Wait here 1 sec.
Doing the
We're
poll.
gonna get- Corsair
I'm gonna
Smitty
lose
is
this
like,
one.
what?
It's gonna be Corsair. It's gonna be exploding.
Corsair Smitty feels betrayed.
I know.
Me, my favorite's always been the Spitfire, and then Corsair's number 2. I like the
Man, I'm
the
kind
outline
of
and the
now. You gotta
profile
put
of
a
the
third one in there.
Spitfire's
I'm an
nice.
Avenger guy too.
An Avenger. Okay. Yep. Do you have
Old
an Avenger?
TBM.
Yeah. You,
No, we don't have any yet.
we don't.
maybe
have-
one
I
day.
think we have. Don't we have one in Nexo or Black Horse?
Nope, no Avengers
Oh, okay.
currently.
No Avengers. Too bad.
One day, maybe.
We'll get there.
Man, this poll's going crazy
Well,
already.
Oh, there you go. Bill Jarrett
Well,
just
you-
responded to Kit. That's the man you want to talk to about potential Bancroft boats or Primus vehicles or anything related to surface or water. He's your man right there. As long as you buy it, though.
That's right.
I love whenever a model gets discontinued, everybody comes out of the woodwork. That was the best model ever. And we look at the sales numbers. We're like, maybe it was it? Was it? But there you go. All right, Corsair's winning. We'll leave that poll up for a bit. Moving on, we got Jeff Brunt with some beautiful pictures. The SR-71s, obviously out there in the world. I don't want to jinx it, but I haven't seen anything bad yet coming out of it, as sometimes you will see with a new modern release that a lot of people think people are going to buy that aren't ready for. But from all accounts, it's a beautiful flyer. You've obviously flown it, but from everybody taking it up, they're having a lot of fun with it. I even got a video here. One of the better videos I saw released was by Hex Speed, who's good friends with the RC Geek Chris Wolf. So I saw on his channel he did a great video on his SR-71, and it looked awesome. Yeah, I guess we could skip ahead to him, but we got I put in about a minute and a half of this. I just cut out some of the stuff. I wanted to see the initial takeoff, which beautiful. He's obviously out there in a gorgeous location. I think he's in Utah or California somewhere, and absolutely beautiful. So I got the takeoff and then the first pass, just the first lap around, and then I think I got some landing set up for landing, dirty pass. Obviously, if you're flying at scale, it doesn't do too much. It's like flying a B-24. You just need to fly straight and graceful, and it looks stunning. And then when you add the background, just me. Like, my field does not look like that. It wouldn't look as cool or epic at my field. But when you got those mountains,
It would be cool when you split the trees with it, though.
Yeah. Or split it in the trees or drive it through the trees.
There you go.
Mountain RC said he has an SR-71 dropping at noontime Mountain Time today. Mountain Time's 2 hours behind, right? Pacific Time's 3. So that'll be 2 o'clock our time. All right, so in less than 2 hours, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Mountain RC so you can check that out. But look at that landing, coming in nice. I think he put... with some people, I think he took out the original gyro, put in AS3X. He talks about it all at the beginning. So if you guys want to watch his video, check out Hecht Speed, H-E-C-H-T, space Speed. He's awesome. He does a lot of great stuff. Great pilot, and, good channel to follow for good information and stuff like that. Then we got Jason Carter. I don't know, Wes, did you do this when you made the video of the 70mm Panther? But he had some good shots. He has both Panthers, the 70 and the 64. And then he had a good top-down shot, which just, gives people an idea of the differences. So the 70 is, still small technically, but, it is a lot bigger than the 64mm.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So I like seeing that. People having fun with their Panthers. I saw a lot of people comment they'd love a 90, they'd love an 80 Panther. So would I. Would have been nice if the Panther was an 80 to match the Cougar, I remember looking at them, I was like, was there a way that you could sell wings for the you know, that the
Right.
Panther, where you could turn the Panther into a Cougar back and forth, but there's just too much differences, and the tail is completely different, and the fuselage just, it wouldn't work, you know. At the start, you're like, oh, maybe you could just put straight wings on this and you could have both, make it like a Transformers type plane, where buying one model, in essence, can get you two, but it's just too much work to do that.
Like
Where
the
do I
old
Hamilton's-
Pandora.
Yeah, right? Hamilton's hangar. Where do I need to upload photos of my Raptor? The Facebook community, I'll see it there. Hamilton, that's probably the best place to put it. You know, when we're doing our live show at the start, you know, the first Friday of every month we do the show. So that Monday is when I start, you know, throughout the week. I'll go through the entire month, you know, and I just, you know, I'm going through pulling out, you know, what in essence I think is the most interesting or the best shots. I can't get everything in there, but you know, if it's good enough, I'll see it there. Obviously, I know who you are. I know your channel, so you'll stick out like a sore thumb, which will be good. Then we got Jared Weirda, W-I-E-R-D-A, Weirda, with his Bell 206. So the Bell 206, obviously, the one question I've asked so much is, everybody's like, why are they sold out, blah, 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 or they're not in stock. I'm like, these things sold out so much faster than we could have ever imagined. You know, they are expensive. They're a higher priced item, but they're almost one of a kind. I mean, they're the largest GPS stabilized, ready to fly helicopters, I believe, on the market in the 470 lineup. We started with 4 pretty popular options, from the Airwolf to this Bell 206 to the MD500 and the Huey. And just based on what we saw, like now they are in stock in the EU and they're moving fast there too. I can only assume that we are going to get, obviously we're definitely restocking these 4, but I think you're going to start also now seeing some of the other most popular helicopter lineup. Like, who doesn't want an Apache? Who doesn't want, you know, so many different helicopter, Cobra, and then I'm forgetting, what was the other? Airwolf was a TV show heli. Blue Thunder. People all want the Blue Thunder, I saw. Magnum PI and the MD500.
Magnum PI.
You know, like, I think you'll eventually get there, and then I also think in the future, one day, I'm probably going to send it to myself, Wes, but there might be an 800 size GPS heli sitting on the table that's ready to fly. It would be expensive, but who wouldn't want to hover an 800 size heli for the first time, knowing that you got the technology to do it? I love these things. I laugh when people are like, you know, flying GPS isn't real flying. Like, it's technology, man. I don't want to drive my car without power steering. I don't want to drive a manual car anymore. I'm more than fine flying these things around the way they are now. They're really fun. But I hope we get there. I really think it's definitely coming. Then we got James Hitch. He was out with a Eurofighter and a Cougar and a couple birds. We're in chase. So out there with his friends. It was a good shot. It was a cool shot to see it. Oh, Corsair saying all the snow's melting in Michigan also. Alex and I are in Georgia. Wes obviously probably got way better weather now, but it's still cold here. Like, we're still below freezing in the mornings, and it's never been like, I've been here 7 years now. It's never lasted this long, like into March. Usually by mid-February, it's warming up. Flowers are on the bushes and stuff. It's crazy the cold that we've been getting in the South that I just haven't seen. It seems really strange. You know, this year we got our first snow since I moved here. It's been crazy, but it'll be 28 when we wake up, when I put my kids on the bus, and then by 2 p.m. it's 65. You know, and it's beautiful. But it's like, I don't know what this cold. I don't want to turn my heat off. I don't want to turn my heat on anymore. I'm done with that. Let's get moving to spring and flying season. Another beautiful shot, Dennis Frost with his B-25 doing some bomb drops. That's a cool shot. STH, anything's probably possible, but it's always going to come down to what are the most popular. So I'm sure Roban is helping us produce those. They have a great idea of what sells and what doesn't. They've been doing it for a long time. You know, some models just sell. Some models you're just never going to see. Like, you know, we've heard from plane manufacturers, Zeros just don't sell, unfortunately. So they never do good. For whatever reason, even though it seems like it would be a popular model, you're going to see more Mustangs. You're going to see more things like that. So before we get to any, planes that aren't as popular, you're going to see more of the popular ones, just now in this variation where it's GPS ready to fly, which is great. Then we got Daniel Johnston. Oh, this was a cool shot. He has the Insta360, but he put it out on his wing, so I'm assuming he put a counterweight on the other side that you can't see. Because if you take off like that, it's gonna, even an Insta360, while small, you put it that far out on your wing, it's gonna make things, I've lost planes doing that, not having a counter, put a camera out on the wing, and when I took off, the plane just flips. You don't have the authority to go the other way. But what a cool look with his F-16. He did it with another aircraft as well, but I just thought the color on that new F-16, and this just looked really, really cool. It's a very interesting shot. See, like, that's a shot. We should get one of that. That would look great for a product video, Wes,
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
Just do a flight like that. Like, what I love about these cameras, you don't have to do anything work. You don't have to really do any work. You just stick it on there, make sure it's in frame, and then you're good to go. But the Insta360s that, it films 360, so he could have turned the camera and looked any which direction he wanted, So just turning it towards that looks good.
Sounds
Northeast
like
FPV, there he is. He does a ton of in-air photos, in-air video. So do you think it's light enough, though, where that far out on the wing it wouldn't mess up? I still feel like you need something on the other side. Just a little weight on the other side just to even it out. I don't know if I trust it. But I guess is the Insta360 lighter than a run cam?
They're probably pretty similar.
I never held one, but all around
yeah,
super
they're pretty
cool.
Small.
Go check out Daniel Johnston's post. He posted a few of these in our Facebook group. He just uploaded them as videos. I don't know if he has, it's the size of your thumb, he says, Northeast FPV. So,
kind of cool.
Yeah.
You like see the wind hit it.
Yep. And that's the spring-loaded cheaters on top, right? So when the air hits it, they open, and then they'll close. Oh yeah, look at that. That's so cool. I missed that. Oh, that is great. Sweet. All right, moving on. Christopher Sitos. T-S-I-T-O-S. Tostitos? The neck's a Hellcat. It's not a Bearcat, Wes, but it's a Hellcat.
That's right.
What happened to ours?
Good one.
I forget.
Had one.
We had one. I don't remember what happened to that thing. I think it might have hit a wall. I'm not
The
sure.
Hellcat, Jerry has it.
Jerry has it? Does he have the Hellcat?
Yep.
Oh, okay. It
Yep.
wasn't that one. Oh,
He bought it from me. Yeah.
We didn't use it from that. Okay. That was the one where I put it on
He's
gas.
still flying.
Money. Oh, good. And then actually, this next post comes from Jerry. This is Bob Curry. You probably know. I'm assuming you might know Bob.
Oh, yeah.
If Jerry made this post. But that's a beautiful customized and like a trainer Cougar. Got the orange.
Oh,
the
yeah.
white.
He was real proud of that. We got to see it at Florida E-Jets. He had it out there.
That's a beautiful, beautiful customization. Really dig that.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was this one? Oh, yeah, Anton. Did I get the second? Oh, I didn't get his cockpit?
I guess not.
No, I forgot to say. Well, darn it. I guess we're going to have to skip that one. Let's skip that one. It's a basic grip, and I was going to show the gripping, but then I forgot he did some cockpit something to it too, but I didn't have that picture, so it'll just look like a normal gripping. We'll get to him. I'm going to have to remember that one, and we'll pop it in the next show. Adam Hill, just some beautiful, stunning images of the SR-71. Definitely, I think it was Mama Bear Photography in the top right corner, but he posted the pictures, Adam Hill, so I just want to call out. They had a watermark on their photos when they posted them, and he got some really stunning shots of his SR-71. There it is coming in for a landing. Got some really beautiful shots with the parachute. And guys, hang tight. We're almost done here with the community, and then we're gonna spin the wheel really soon. But check that shot out. This one weirded me out. Did he pull it early? He just pulled his parachute early before he got down, or did he accidentally pull it on takeoff? I was like looking at that. I was like, oh, that's cool. Wait, that shouldn't be like that. The parachute shouldn't be coming out in the air. And I think, was that the end? I think that was the end of our little community tour. So we're now
That
halfway.
picture, the second picture after that one got exciting.
That would be bad. But I think somebody said I saw somebody make a post where they did open it up in flight and they could still fly with it, even though it's causing drag. It didn't destroy their aircraft, oddly. So, you just
It's
got
not
to
a
maintain
good
speed.
thing.
Not a good thing, but if you put it somewhere where you accidentally pull it out, during flight, it doesn't mean the end,
Right.
Let's just hope it doesn't do that. So go back to that, Alex. And where are we going? You tell me, because we are about to spin the wheel. I'll talk about the wheel while we're finding our winner. I think our winner, no way, it's a kit. It's Kit 10K. Kit 10K, this spin is gonna be for you. The next spin coming up. I'll just go through the board here. It's been the same for the last about 2 months. We have 2 $100 gift cards. Every other number is a gift card, whether you're EU or US. We'll email you a gift card. We got a daily prize, which is random from me. It'll be about $25 worth of actual product we'll send you, mostly Benchcraft, things like that. We got a spin again, which we still haven't got yet. So that'll sort of raise the stakes. And then this one is the big one. You get a second spin. So whatever you win on your first spin, we'll then spin it again. And if you land on this, you can't get a third spin if it lands on that. We'll just call this 25 if that happens. So you know what? I'm going to start there. Kit 10K, are you still in the chat? I see him. He just asked how difficult the SR-71 is to fly. If you are in the chat, Michael, I'll talk to you about that in 2 seconds. It's been over my shoulder. If you haven't noticed, but it's been there. I've got mine. We're still waiting for Wes to get his before we do that show. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Kit 10K, this spin is for you. Oh, it's cranking. Boop, boop. I know, I want to spin again. I want the second spin. I don't even want to spin again. I want the second spin. Second spin win.
Second spin, not spin again. Spin,
I want someone to win 2 times in a row. Let's hope Kit 10K's here. If he's not, he's got a week to rewatch the show and know that he's got $75 coming his way. Kit 10K, there he is. He's there. $75 gift card is going to be yours. Be sure, Kit, if you have a Motion RC account, whether you're in the EU or the US, email us from the email you use on that account. That'll go directly to me, contest@motionrc.com, and then I'll try to get your prize out either today or it'll come Monday, and it'll just be an email with codes. In this case, I think we only sell $25 and $50 codes, so you probably get 2 codes to add up to $75. But $75 gift card is yours. So Michael had asked, do we have our YouTube plaque? I got it. I'm going to take it off here. I'm not opening the box. I have yet to open the box. I don't want to open it yet because we are going to live unbox it when Wes gets his. So Wes's is on the way. It just takes a little time for his to get his. When he gets that, then we're going to do our congratulations show, thanking all of you. We're going to spin the wheel a bunch of times. We're probably going to up the prizes on it. We're still discussing what it's going to be, but now it's coming up very, very soon. I've been dying. I've had this for almost a week. For whatever reason, it's just taking a little longer for Wes, because when you get to 100K, they give you 1 code for 1 plaque, but then they give you a link to a separate site where you could buy more, and you need a special code to do that, because obviously, channels that have multiple personalities and multiple people, you want to get everybody one, you got to buy them on your own. So it seems like it's a first come, first serve thing. So as soon as he gets his, which we hope, this show's coming up within a week or 2, we hope. So yeah, it was a long journey to get to 100K. It's amazing just to come in and look at it. Something feels different, even though nothing's changed. But I wonder if, if it helps you in algorithms or whatever. But either way, it was a long time for us to get here. And it's exciting, it's exciting when you do this. And it's cool that even YouTube does something like this. I know they've shrank the award recently. A couple of years ago, it used to be bigger, but now it was the same size as the gold one, which is for $1 million. But I think they said, gold should be staggeringly different than, you know.
The gold one's
than-
actually small too now.
than the silver one. Is it? They shrunk the gold one too?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. I guess it's just at the point where so many channels are hitting it now that it's not, you know, it's clearly not as special as it was if you did this 10 years ago, you know, but either way, it's still cool. And then the only other award, I believe, is 10 million, and only like 10 channels have got it, and it's a big, heavy
1 million, 10 million. Yeah.
crystal block, or maybe it's 100 million. It's 100 million. I don't even think it's 10 million. It's 1 million to 100 million. So like, you know, only a few channels, like WWE has it. I think Mr. Beast has it. A few channels, but I saw it's like this big crystal play button thing that's just heavy on the desk. But it looks awesome. Really, really awesome. But yeah, so that will be coming up. So I guess it's time, Wes. I mean, you've seen it. I've shown Wes, you know, on videos, but I want to talk about what's coming in a little bit here. Probably, hopefully, maybe next week. But if not, within the next 2 weeks, we got a new Bancroft speedboat. And it's a nice size. This is the Motion RC DV. And it's absolutely fantastic. This baby is, it's going to come with your transmitter and everything. The only thing it won't come with is batteries, but it is 6S or 4S capable. It comes with the screws on the back that you just have to change the screws. So they give you a larger one for 4S. They give you a smaller one for 6S, which I have on here. You just have to, assemblies really quick when you come out of the box. It's put on the fins, you put on the rudder, you just put on the assembly. It's just a couple screws, doesn't take long. We'll get into it. But what the difference is, because we have some other boats that are similar size from Bancroft, but this one does have the self-righting water tank inside of it. And we figured that out real quick, that it works really well. This thing takes off so fast. I'm gonna turn it for you, Alex. Alex is setting up his camera there. Turn to you. It's molded in the self-righting tank. So if you ever flip it, it takes about 10 seconds. You leave it, you leave it sit, and then you just gotta throttle back and forth, and this thing goes. We'll show some footage in a second here because it was my first run. I only had a set of battery. We wanted to get pictures first so we could get the website done, and then I'm gonna have to get back out there. But everything that you see inside comes assembled, pre-assembled. So you don't have to do like any interior work. The only thing I had to do is they put your receiver. Your receiver doesn't come. They give you a balloon for the receiver. So back here, you just make a little hole to bring your antenna out, and then you can wrap the receiver in a balloon because it does, water will get inside. But other than that, everything else is waterproof. I flipped it and drained it. Plug on the back. But it's a beautiful color scheme. I was excited when I took it out of the box, and I think guys are going to dig it. If you never played with a boat, I've been having fun with some of these boats recently. I've been doing a lot of these for us as we're growing our Bancroft lineup. And, I have quick access to a lake. And was this the 4S or is this 6S? This is 6S. It cuts on a dime. I don't know, can they hear it?
It's low.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is just me whipping around, but
Turn it up if you wanna.
yeah, you want to start it from the front? Do you have the part where, because when I first gassed it, like I took it out to get pictures, I just did it on 4S because we felt it was easier, but here we go with the Motion RC DV. It screams across the water. Lake Allatoona 215, yes sir.
Okay.
And there's,
All right, here we go.
there's my first flip. That was my first flip. Yep. And I was like, ooh, because we're going to take it out there. I want to make sure I do this live on camera. I was like purposely trying to flip it. Well, let's see. You got to let it just, sort of settle. You think nothing's going to happen, and then you start, go reverse, back to forward, reverse, back to forward. I want to show this live in the full video. I didn't do the talking while I was out there. I was too enamored when we put it on Success. I was like, this is a lot of fun. And there's like a boater lane there, so people were driving by. One guy wanted to come help us. I'm like, no need, we're good. And then it will empty. You know, it'll completely empty once you get going forward again. And, you know, beautiful feature. And like other speedboats, when you hit LVC, it'll basically your boat will just stop on a dime, but then you have more than enough power to, you know, it saves enough juice so you can just sail it back to yourself very, you know, slower, obviously. But you don't have to worry if you lose battery out there, because like there's no telemetry or anything, you can't really tell. I was mostly full throttle. I think I got about 3.5 minutes on two 5000 3Ss. So you're gonna have two 5000 3Ss inside with XT90 connectors, or you can run it on two 5000 2Ss to run it on 4S. And 4S is a lot tamer than this. I'll probably run it on 4S one more time when I make the video, and then I'm never taking off the 6S prop because there is no reason to. But it cuts. It doesn't, especially on that day was a great day for us. It was all glass mostly, so that's where we had the most fun with this boat. And I'm excited to get it out there. I think it looks beautiful, and really awesome canopy that, you know, closes nicely. The batteries inside are spaced out, one on each side to balance the boat. And I'll talk about that when we eventually do the video, but you'll obviously see some of this footage in there, but we're gonna go back out again. Monday's looking like a great day for us. Yeah, I was just, 215, I wanted to see what it could do. You know, I'm like, this is what I'm out here for, let's test it. Let's see what we're gonna be able to do when we go to make this video. But it's got a great little system on the inside of the canopy. It's a, you know, it turns and then it'll turn and lock in. But I still will say it's probably best too when you do put it on. If you're gonna run 6S, if you're running in chop or anything, she'll jump. And then you know, I put some clear tape on it too, just to hold it down, you know, fully, just in case. You know, it was more just in case stuff because I didn't want to, you know, if this were to pop off or something, I didn't want to lose it. I'm not going for a swim in Lake Allatoona. Sorry, that's not my that's not what I would do. But there's usually always a lot of boaters and fishermen where we take these things. So somebody usually, you know, I've asked them to come out. But that locks on. But it's a beautiful size, and I really love the scheme on it. It's always, you know, I got a lot of love for the company I work for. So like, I love the AL37 in the Motion logo. I like our logo. I like it. I like our color scheme. So to see a trim that's ours is always cool for me. And Michael Reiska, you could put a Bills logo on here, and you're close. I would put a Giants logo on it, but it would sink. So you know, it's not gonna work. Yeah, it wouldn't even make it out of the car. But you know, you can do that too. But all around, I'm super excited for this one. So look out for this, possibly next week, more likely 2 weeks from now. This should be available and ready to go in the US first. It's coming to the EU. But you know, containers to the EU, if they leave the same time as containers to the US, they're always going to take longer because they either got to go through the Suez Canal or wrap Africa, whereas containers to the US, straight shot across the Pacific. But it's a beautiful boat. You'll just need to have batteries. You know, the batteries are not included in this one, which will keep the price down. And you know, we're thinking more people might already, if you already have batteries, a lot of guys don't want to buy batteries. But you get the transmitter. Where is it? Get the transmitter, and then you get all the, you know, assemblies. You put everything on in the back. You get the 2 screws, which are aluminum, steel. You know, the anodized paint on those is great. And then the you get a few. You actually get. They give you some extra XT90s. So if you want to solder onto your own packs, you get XT90s that'll fit. But if you don't know, EC5s will fit into XT90s, so you can do that too. But all around, super fun. What I'd love to do, what I really wanted to is, I don't know anybody who owns a boat. So I wanted to be on a boat with somebody speeding through the lake, and I'm driving it and Alex is filming it, you know, and we're just trying to hit the wakes of the boat, like in the same, you know, the camera's moving at the same speed as the boat would look really cool. I got to see if I could ask one of those guys to do that for me. But let's bring Wes back in here. Wes has his slot cars. If you don't know, Wes is a slot car man. He's got
I
a better
am.
track hanging above him, but this one's a good starter one.
Yeah. So I was super excited to see we brought in some of these. I wanted to touch on it for a second. Had it set down here today. Me and my son have been playing with this thing a ton since it came in, so it's been a blast. These are our Joyceway slot car sets. If you've been thinking about getting one, or maybe you used to play with them and forgotten about them and thought, oh man, a slot car set would be a blast. I mean, these things are completely ready to run right out of the box. You can see I can run it here. I'm sure it's noisy, so I don't want to run it too much right now. But, you know, I'm going real gentle too. I mean, they will crash if you speed, they fly off. So there is some skill involved in playing with them. I've had a blast with this little set though. They're inexpensive. They run on a USB power supply now. So it's a fun little set to get started. You get 2 little cars right out of the box with any of the sets you get, and then we sell separate cars also. And you can clip multiple sets together to make bigger ones. But yeah, it's a fully ready to run racetrack in a box. So this was a product I was really excited to see when these came to Motion RC also. And like I said, everything just snaps together. You've got the guardrails, you've got the lap counters, you get 2 pistol grip controllers with the sets. It's a lot of fun. We also have some of the other brands too, but right now just kind of featuring this one a little bit. But I do like our Carrera sets also and the other ones. But yeah, like you said, you can race them till your heart's content. Me and my boy probably played 3-4 hours out here with this thing after we got it set up. He was like huge into the slot cars right now. And so it's pretty fun. We have another one set up in the house right now for him. So he was very excited to have some new toys to
Wes
get to
has
play
the bigger
with.
one
So
above him. Have we seen it? We've seen it on video, right?
yeah, I think I've showed it on video once or twice. Maybe we might hit it again. There's a wall of slot cars over here. I'm sure Lori could turn the camera and see it.
Wes
There's,
loves them.
I don't know, 150 of them off here to the side.
With a set like this, though, how much can you extend the track before there's not enough power?
So I haven't actually tested it or talked to Bill about that, but I'm going to guess you can probably put 2 or 3 of these together before you start having an issue with power.
So if you got the 2
you can only
sets,
pull
you could
2
add
amps.
and...
Right.
Gotcha.
You know how we get longer tracks on bigger sets, you don't really change your power supply, you just start adding jumper cables. So it's more of the track will get slow the further out away from the power supply you get. So, but this is going to be able to be expanded quite a bit before you run into that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I remember those.
And then
we had a few
our
sets
Carrera
and...
sets that we sell here, we actually have the power tap so you can make them. I mean, I think it's 34 feet of track before you have to add on the Carrera ones. Power jumpers, but that's all you have to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So guys, we got about 10-12 minutes left in the show. If anybody has any questions about things you've seen, I still got the boat on the table in front of me. Wes still has the F86. He has, you know, whatever you want. Let's have a little chat here.
I'm crawling now.
The community before we go. Yeah, you're crawling. I got a few of those as well. I did most of those initial videos. I wanted to see how Wes felt about those. I thought, you know, your son now, crawling is about one of the best things you can get your kids started in RC cars. Because it's slower paced. It's, you know, but it can be, at the very beginning when I started getting RC crawlers, I'm like, I don't know if I could have fun with this. But once you find like a course and you find places to really showcase them, like where you can actually use them. Like if you're just driving around the front of your house, it's boring. But if you're actually trying to crawl and stay on and you're back and forth, like especially when you get into the more advanced crawlers that have, you know, all the extra added features to help your torque and help you, you know, get up those things. I get it, you know, like I get it. I get why people love that. It's like RC construction equipment. They're super popular. It's a niche, but I get why people, you know, get into it. Like anything else, it's really awesome.
Yeah,
Jim
I've been
Flies,
really impressed.
Jim Flies, I don't
sorry,
think you're
Dave.
going to see any more in March. Sorry, Wes. I don't think you'll see another free wing release in March, but you never know, man. We've been coming out with, it seems like we do the show once a month, and it seems like every month there's always something cool that came out between the last 2 shows, and we've been on a good roll here. So, you know, I hope so. But I'm not letting you know anything. That's not how we do it. What else we got? Are there new plans for multi-layer rotor heads for the new helis. I'm getting these questions. I don't know. I'd have to ask Chris Wolf or Seth. You know, again, all these, the technology with the GPS, I believe that's why the tail rotor's on the same side for all of them. They all use the same assembly. You know, basically the body's the only thing that's changing on these. So they've you know, sacrificed a little bit in scale because the technology just works the way it is. I don't know what would happen if you put a five blade head on one of these rotor scale helis. I don't know if that would affect the GPS and the technology in there. As somebody who's not a scale, you know, I'm not a scale, for lack of a better term, I don't want to say the word, but you know, it doesn't affect me too much. It looks great to me. I don't notice it when the heli's flying. I could care less, you know. I don't notice it as I'm flying around. I'm enjoying the flight and the profile of the heli I have. But I'm not sure, you know, I'm not sure how that will work. And again, I'm sure eventually they'll get there. You know, who would have ever thought that we'd have GPS stabilized 470 helicopters that you can buy and literally plug in the battery and be flying as a beginner? Who would have thought that 10 years ago? And this is something, when I first got hired in 2017, this is something the CEO really loves helis, and we were working on this then. He had sent me those 450s that we sell under rotor scale originally came with a worse version of that GPS. It worked sometimes, it just didn't work every time. So they literally had to abandon it and turn them into PNPs back then. And now we've got them and they're even better than those. So we're getting there. You know, the tech and everything. I mean, you just see it in every plane you open, regardless if it's from Motion product or not. The tech and everything is just, it advances in this hobby so great, and you know, eventually they're going to get there, I'm sure. As mentioned in an email last week, James, I'm hoping you guys will be able to attend the Fleet Run in North Carolina. Yo, Kit, that was you. Okay, you've got the boat race. It would be a matter of me just being able to get up there. You know, it would be great. I mean, I'd love to pack the car with some boats and experience one of these myself to come up, because I still haven't done that yet. So I can't promise anything, but it's on my mind, and I'll let you know for sure. It's just a matter of what's going on around that time and what I'm needed for work and life in general around that time. But I'd love to do it at some point. That would be great. Dad's RC, amen. Does not matter what type of RC you do. If it brings you fun. Exactly. That's why we want to be, you know, we started with planes, but now we got darn near everything on our website. And because it's all fun if you love it. Anyone have thoughts on the Freewing F-15? I'm itching for an Eagle. Is it discontinued? Or is it just out of stock?
I think it's still around. Might just be out of stock right now.
You know? I haven't heard that. I mean, it's there. I mean, who wouldn't love more F-15s? I would love for them to eventually do the newer F-15, what is it, the Strike Eagle, the F-15E?
I want an F-15 active, the one with the canards.
Oh, okay, all right. I remember, I forget
That'd be so cool.
There was a guy, he did a great customization of the Freewing one where it was in that newer, darker gray, and he did some things to the fuselage to make it more like the modern F-15 rather than ours is a Gulf War F-15. Yeah, no. And it was absolutely stunning.
Still in stock.
Love to. Oh, it's still in stock? Oh, okay. There you go.
Go get you one right now if you want one.
That was one, I think that was the one I accidentally drove. Yeah, I got the first time they sent me one. I had it all plugged in, and I had swapped from Spectrum to Futaba. Like, they were like, can you please fly it on Futaba? And it was one of those where Futaba is, the ports are different, so it's aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder. And I was so used to throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder. And I have it all plugged in, ready to go. I'm about to make the video. I'm like, let me just reverse the elevator. I reversed channel 3, and it went right off this table, through this wall, and was gone in a second. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh no,
yeah.
I need an...
It's a rite of passage. I think everybody's done it once.
I need an ARF Plus if I'm going to finish this video. Sorry. I was so embarrassed that my kid was down here and he was watching, and he got so scared because I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, what was I doing? It went full throttle. No, took off this table, took right off this table. I was like, oh man. But yeah, it was a beautiful plane to fly. I like flying the F-15s. When will we see the Flightline bird? Northeast? I'm hoping in 2025. That's what I'm hoping. So stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned. I want it too. That's my favorite brand. I love those. I want more. I want them.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Kit 10K just told me he's designing a 3D printed 11-foot long swimming Godzilla with his tail that'll move back and forth with the current he'll generate as he moves. That's incredible. People always wanted me, I wanted to take one of these boats, and I know it's probably, I don't know, 100 years is probably, it's okay to do, right? I mean, I have the Titanic. I wanted to take one of these and just put foam around it and just turn it into an iceberg so I can at least drive it out there. I don't know if it's like, is it bad to do? Can I not film the Titanic hitting a foam iceberg? Is that like
1912? It's been 100 years.
I mean, it's been over 100 years. I think it's
too soon. Too soon.
You know, is it too soon? I don't know. But, you know, people always ask whenever they watch the video, we get that comment all the time, where's the iceberg? And I'm like, should I just make a little short? Or are people going to get mad at me? Like when I me and Wes flew a plane into the wall. It's like, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I always want to see a plane hit a brick wall in 2,000 frames per second. That was fun. Anything else? We need a smaller format A4. Ooh, that would be. Could you do it right though? One thing about the A4 Skyhawk, it's cool that it has that like bulb that you could take off the top, and you know, I don't know, you know, you lose some of what's cool about the A4 maybe if you did it. Let's say Blue Angels was A4 too, right? They had Blue Angels at some point. So maybe if you did a Blue Angels, like 64 millimeter, that could be cool. That would be really cool. John, sometimes there are ads. We have it on conservative, but like, you know, at this point, whether you put ads or not on there, YouTube is kind of going to put ads on everything anyway. They told us, you know, YouTube told everybody like 5 or 6 years ago that you might as well monetize because we're monetizing everything anyway. So, you know, it
only
just
way
depends.
around it is to have premium.
Yeah, the only way around that is they want you to subscribe to a premium membership. So we apologize if there's any ads. We're not here for YouTube money. We're here to get you to buy at motionrc.com. That's more important to us. You know, that's all we care about is hopefully you want to buy something at our website. Scoundrel did it back in the day, a 50 millimeter. Okay, they did a 50 millimeter A4, I assume we're talking about. Yeah, Blue Angels, yeah, we know it started with prop planes, but at some point they had A4s.
Yeah, we had the Bearcat in the Blue Angel scheme here at Motion for a while.
Kit 10K, speaking of 3D printing, you're on a roll today. Speaking of 3D printing, does the company utilize it at all in any of its products? It's useful. Yes, actually, for a while, a lot of our models, I remember this with the B-24, we designed 3D printed files for like extras, you know, and then we were trying to, you know, we were selling them, but then, you know, then it just became like the type of thing where if somebody buys the file, that's the hardest thing. They could just share the file. And so it's like, it's not cost effective or you can't really profit off of it. It's more for the love of the game when it comes to 3D printing. But like we did staircases for a few of our models. We did cockpit where you could 3D print. It was mostly started with planes. But for the most part, then the community just sort of does it on their own. I mean, I remember when I made, a while back before Wes got here, I had done an entire kitted out F-18. You know, I did the calligraphics. I 3D printed everything, and I found some things on Thingiverse. I bought some things on one of the sites that you could buy from. You know, I was scaling up the missiles. I made it beautiful. And I forgot to CG it after I made it. And when I took off, it was gone. And it was disappointing. But 3D printing for sure has its place. I 3D printed a lot of cool stuff. You know, it's fun, but I find it to be the type of thing where if you're in a hobby 3D printing's awesome. You know, like my dad is into table wargaming and Warhammer and stuff, and like you could 3D print all that stuff and paint it if you want to. You know, I always wonder. I guess people probably 3D print Legos, right? Even though they must be highly on top of anyone who tries to release a file like that. I couldn't imagine, because, you know, Legos want to stay expensive. They want you to pay an arm and a leg for Legos, but I'm sure people do stuff like that. And that's where I guess the hardest part. It's sort of Wild West still with 3D printing. But it's cool. It is cool. Yeah, guys, all right, we're hitting 1 o'clock. I see a lot of people telling us we had a great show, so I guess we're wrapping up. Wes, how you doing?
All right, yeah, had a good time today.
Are you flying anything this weekend? You taking the weekend off?
Heading up to Cletus's this weekend for an event.
Oh,
Gonna be hanging out up there. Yeah,
Mr.
The Tour
Cletus.
of Destruction.
Nice. See, does he have a Consuela for you? You think he saved one? Because we didn't
I'm sure he's got some around there.
You got to.
No, I need to fly one.
You got to fly one. They look cool. Or we need to do that. Tell them we want one in a 470 GPS.
That's right.
That would be, you know, that would be the jam. That would be really cool. But guys, Mach 3 RC, thank you so much for the 100K. I thank all of you guys for joining us, as you always do, on our live show, and hope you enjoyed it. It's Friday. Hope you have great maidens, whatever you're flying or driving or boating, whatever you're doing RC this weekend. Hopefully you're doing it with a Motion RC product, but even if you're not, we hope you have a good time. We'll be back next month. I don't know what the first Friday of April will be, but you'll see us there, and we may, and obviously between then and now, Wes should have his 100K plaque, and we're going to have some fun spinning the wheel and having that show. So just stay tuned. We'll give you plenty of time to know when the date is. If we're going to do the show, it will be on a Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern, because that's our time. That's when everybody would be used to it. It wouldn't make sense to do it at any other time. So if it's not next Friday, we're hoping at least the Friday thereafter. We just need YouTube to just get one to Wes, please, as soon as possible. Because I want to open mine and I want to hang it. It's got to go right. I think it's going to go right here. 2 screws in the wall. Or I might, because this is wood. I painted the wood. I might just mount it over. And then I think I also need to put lights behind it. I don't know. We'll do something, but it's got to go there. But guys, thank you so much for watching. For Wesley, James, Alex, and Lori, we thank you guys so much for helping us get to 100K. Thank you guys so much for buying everything you do at Motion RC. And as always, guys, we'll see you in the next video.